We're getting a little motivational today because if you're waiting to feel ready before you get started on YouTube, I need to tell you something that could honestly change your year. Ready rarely comes. Confidence rarely arrives first. Motivation doesn't usually knock on your door at the perfect moment and announce that it's the time. Most people spend years waiting for a feeling that was never meant to lead them. They keep telling themselves that when life calms down, when they know more, when they have better gear, when they feel more confident, when they lose weight, or when they have more time, they'll get started. But for a lot of people, that future day never comes. And that is one of the biggest tragedies in life. Not failure, not embarrassment, not trying and falling short. The real tragedy is living with the potential that never got expressed because you waited too long to begin. What's going on, everybody? Eric here with the Influence Catalyst. This channel is about helping regular people build real influence online through content, consistency, trust, and long-term thinking. But more than that, it's about helping people move. Helping people stop living in hesitation, helping people realize that progress often starts before confidence ever shows up. Because most people have the formula backward. They think confidence creates action. In reality, action often creates confidence. They think clarity comes first, when in reality, movement often creates clarity. They think motivation must show up before discipline, and the reality of it is discipline often creates motivation after the first few reps. That misunderstanding keeps people stuck for years. Think about how many people right now are carrying ideas they've never acted on. A business they want to start, a channel they want to build, weight they want to lose, skills they want to learn, a better version of themselves they keep imagining but never start taking action on. They're waiting for perfect conditions. But life rarely offers perfect conditions. There will almost always be something unfinished, uncertain, inconvenient, or uncomfortable involved. That's why the people who move early gain such an advantage. They don't necessarily know more. They're not always more talented. They're often simply more willing to begin while they're uncomfortable. And if that kind of real-world motivation helps you, go ahead and hit that subscribe button and subscribe to the Influence Catalyst, because this channel is for regular people who are tired of waiting and are ready to build something real. Now that said, one of the biggest lies people tell themselves is that successful people felt ready before they started. They imagine confident creators always had confidence. They think fit people always love the gym. They imagine entrepreneurs always knowing what they're doing. They imagine speakers always feel natural on camera. But if you talk to enough people who have actually built something, you'll hear a very different story. Most started nervous, most started unsure, messy, underprepared, and most started while they were doubting themselves. But the key is that they started. And starting separated them from everyone who is still thinking about it. If you want to understand something important, you have to begin with feeling awkward. Your first video is supposed to feel uncomfortable. Your first workout is supposed to feel hard. Your first sales call is supposed to feel unnatural. Your first attempt at change is supposed to challenge the version of you that got comfortable staying the same. That discomfort is not a warning sign. It's often proof that growth is nearby. Too many people mistake discomfort for danger. They feel nervous and assume they should stop. They feel awkward and assume they're not built for it. They feel uncertain and assume it's not the right time. But discomfort is often just the sensation of stretching into a new identity. You're not failing because something feels hard. You're often just early in the process. Think about learning to drive or speak publicly or learning a new job. Think about learning fitness or content creation. In the beginning, everything feels clumsy. Then repetition turns awkwardness into familiarity. Familiarity turns into competence, and competence turns into confidence. But confidence was never built before action. That's why waiting for confidence can cost you. It can trap you forever. Another reason you need to start before you feel ready is because time keeps moving whether you want to or not. 1 year from now will arrive no matter what. 12 months from now, you'll either be glad you started or frustrated you delayed it again. The calendar doesn't care about your hesitation. The time keeps moving. And this is where many people get hurt quietly. Not by dramatic failure, but by slow drift. Another year scrolling, another year talking about your goals, another year researching but not doing anything, another year saying, maybe next year, maybe next month, and another year watching other people build the life you want to build. That pain adds up. There is a unique frustration that comes from knowing that you could have started earlier. That's why movement matters now. You don't need to begin and know everything. You need enough information for the next step. That's it. Most people think they need the full 10-year blueprint before taking step number 1, and you don't. You need step 1. Then step 2 becomes more important with movement. It becomes clearer. You want to start a YouTube channel? Film 1 video. You want to get healthier? Go on a walk. You want to improve your finances? Track your spending. And if you want to build confidence, do one hard thing this week. You want to grow a business? Talk to one potential customer. Small beginnings are still beginnings, and small beginnings often produce big outcomes if they're repeated long enough. I also think people underestimate the emotional power of self-respect. Every time you keep promises to yourself, something changes internally. When you say you're going to get started and then you actually start, self-trust begins to show. When you say you'll show up and you actually show up, confidence grows, and confidence is the result of evidence. You become confident because you proved that you could do something you said you were going to do repeatedly. That means the fastest path to confidence is not waiting, it's doing. Let me say that again. The fastest path to confidence is not waiting, it's doing. Another thing to remember is that nobody else is thinking about your fear as much as you are. Most people are too busy worrying about themselves. You think everyone's judging your first attempt. Most people barely notice, and the few who do judge usually aren't building anything themselves anyway. You cannot let imaginary criticism from inactive people control your real future. Many people are living under the opinions of people who are not even producing results, and that's a dangerous trap. You have to decide whose voice matters more, the critics in your head or the future version of you that you're beginning to build. Because right now, there's a future version of you watching. Stronger, wiser, more capable, more disciplined, more fulfilled. And that version of you often exists just on the other side of uncomfortable action that you take consistently. But that person can't be met through hesitation. They're met through movement. Now, let me be honest. Starting before you feel ready does not guarantee instant success. It does not guarantee easy progress, and it does not mean every attempt works. You may fail publicly. You may need to pivot. You may need to improve. But even those experiences are worth more than frozen potential. Because movement teaches. Because delay only frustrates. The person who tries and adjusts gains wisdom, and the person who only waits gains excuses. And over time, that gap becomes massive. I've seen ordinary people change their lives because they made one decision to start before their confidence arrived. One person films their first video and builds a channel. One person starts walking every day and loses weight. One person is learning sales that changes their income for the rest of their lives. One person starts posting content and creates opportunities that eventually grow their channel, their business, and their life. And none of that starts with feeling ready. It starts with deciding that waiting has cost you enough already. So if you've been waiting for the perfect moment, let me save you some time. There's no perfect moment. There's only this moment right now. There is only the next action that you take. There is only the decision to move or delay today. And if you keep delaying, you delay one day after another, it becomes habit, and then it becomes regret and lost possibilities. Don't let that happen. Start small, start ugly, start nervous and unsure, and start with what you have. Start with a limited range of knowledge, imperfect timing, shaky confidence. Start with your fear if you must, but get started. Because once movement begins, momentum can follow. Once reps begin, confidence can follow. And once progress begins, motivation can follow. Once discipline is there, your identity can follow. This is how lives change, not through waiting to feel ready, through beginning before you are. So if this message hits you today, do one thing today that takes action towards your future self. You're going to thank yourself for it. Write down the plan, make the call, take the walk, sign up, film your first video, post that first content, begin the process, because the version of you that wins may be waiting on one simple decision: to start right now. I'm Eric. This is the Influence Catalyst, and I hope you found some value in today's video. If you're thinking about getting started on YouTube, go ahead and take a look at this video right here, because this could be the one that helps you make the decision to change your life forever. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.